In the previous class, we had discussed about the two types of glands that are there in our body. We have exocrine gland and then we have endocrine gland. Now, exocrine glands are those glands that are provided with a proper duct system. They have ducts to, you can say, send their discharge or secretions. But talking about the endocrine glands, so these are the glands that are ductless, meaning they do not have any kind of ducts present in them. And their secretions are known as hormones, and they directly secrete the hormones into the bloodstream, meaning right into the blood flow of human beings. Now, talking about the examples of endocrine glands, so we have pituitary gland, which is commonly known as what type of gland, students? Pituitary is also known as the master gland, isn't it? The master gland. Why? Because it controls almost all the activities of our body through the hormonal secretion. Then thyroid gland is there, pineal gland, thymus, adrenal gland, pancreas, testes, and ovaries, which collectively are the gonads of human beings. Now, we talked about the pituitary gland, and it is a pea-sized gland and it is present at the base of the brain, and it is known as the master gland. Why? Because this gland is responsible for controlling the secretions of all the other glands that are present. One of the most important hormone which is secreted by the pituitary gland is the growth hormone. Now, this is secreted by the pituitary gland. And now we know that in any case or in any gland or hormone, if there is an under secretion, meaning less amount of hormone is secreted than what is required. So that is known as under secretion, meaning less secretion of that hormone is taking place. And when that takes place, and when there is the under secretion of growth hormone, there is a disease that is known as dwarfism that happens. But if the growth hormone is secreted in excessive amount, that is over secretion. So the over secretion of the growth hormone that leads to, if it is in the case of children, then that leads to the disease that is known as gigantism. And if the over secretion is happening in the adult, so that is known as acromegaly. That is the disease. Then we talked about the thyroid gland, and thyroid gland is a butterfly shaped gland. Where is it located? So it is located in the throat, and it is responsible for secreting the hormone that is known as thyroxine. Now, the thyroxine, what is its function? Its function is to regulation of metabolism, or it regulates the metabolism of the body. Now we know that for the formation of the hormone that is thyroxine, iodine is extremely important. So iodine is very important to synthesize the thyroxine in the body. So now for all those people that have the iodine deficiency, meaning they have less secretion of thyroxine present in them, right? And this leads to the disease that is known as goiter, that is swollen neck happens in that. So these two endocrine glands are clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Does anyone have any disease, any doubts? Okay, for the rest of the students who have joined the class right now, please switch on your videos, everyone. Okay, just 1 second, students. Yes, everyone, switch on your videos. Galvin, you also. All right. So these two endocrine glands are clear, students. And the difference between endocrine and exocrine glands is also clear to everyone. Is there anyone who does not understand the difference in between them? You can still ask me, tell me. Is there anyone who wants a revision for it, or everyone understands it? Everyone gets it? All
Yes.
right, very good. Okay, now let's move forward and talk about the next gland, that is pancreas. Now, see, up until now, okay, right now we're talking about the endocrine glands, right? So, have you ever heard about pancreas before than this? Have you? Like right now, we're talking about pancreas as an endocrine gland or its activity like a gland. But have you ever heard about pancreas anywhere in any chapter before? Yes or no? Yes or no? Tell me. And if yes, so where have you heard about pancreas?
The digestive system.
Correct. In the digestive system, we know that pancreas, they play a really important role in the digestive system. Or, and how do they do that? What do they do in the digestive system? What is their digestive role?
They secrete juices.
Hmm? Pancreatic juice comes from pancreas, right? And it contains all the necessary digestive enzymes to digest the components of our food. Agreed by everyone? Everyone agrees this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now see, the most unique thing about pancreas is that this gland is the only gland in our body which will act like an endocrine gland also, and it acts like an exocrine gland also, meaning it has dual functions. It acts dual. And this is the reason why you can't call it endocrine as a whole, you can't call it exocrine as a whole. So you call it mixed gland. Why? Because it functions like both of them. Now, pancreas is a leaf-like gland, and where is it located? So it is located behind the stomach. Now, see, students, in all of these glands, the position of the glands have been mentioned, or where have they been located, that has been mentioned. So whenever you write about these glands in the exam, please pay attention to what position you're writing or what position they're asking about. Now, pancreas is an endocrine gland as well as exocrine gland. Now, let us see what is the dual function of it. Now, if we are talking about the role of pancreas as an endocrine gland, so it is responsible for synthesis and secretion of two hormones, insulin and glucagon. Now see, pancreas, they have two types of cells present in them. The first kind of cells are known as alpha cells, and the other one is known as the beta cells. Now, the alpha cells are those cells that are responsible for synthesizing and secreting the hormone which is known as insulin. Have you people ever heard about insulin before?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Everyone has?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Correct. Now, the alpha cells of the pancreas, they secrete the hormone that is insulin, and glucagon, they secrete the hormone that, like, this is secreted by the beta cells of the pancreas. So alpha cells have their own synthesis and secretion, and so does the beta cells. Now remember one thing, students, whenever we talk about insulin and glucagon, both of these hormones, they have their effect or their metabolism of glucose in one way or the other. Both of them are against each other. They don't work towards, or you can say together, but they are against each other. But they are responsible for regulating the sugar level in the blood sugar level. Now, insulin, what does it do? It is responsible for breaking down the sugar that is there in the body, and it lowers the blood sugar. Okay? And glucagon is responsible for increasing the blood sugar. So both of them, they function side by side. One is responsible for decreasing the amount of blood sugar and the other is responsible for increasing the amount of blood sugar. Now, for those people that do not have properly functioning alpha cells of pancreas, so it means that they won't have proper or sufficient amount of insulin in the body, right? So now these are those people that have high blood sugar. And persistent high blood sugar is very harmful for human beings. So that is why those people now this becomes a disease, and this becomes a disease that is known as diabetes mellitus. This is an insulin dependent diabetes. Okay, so insulin is responsible for lowering the blood sugar level, and glucagon is responsible for increasing the blood sugar level. Now, both of these hormones, they act antagonistically. What does that mean? Meaning, one we know is responsible for decreasing it, the other one is increasing it. So, right? They are working in opposite directions, so they are known as antagonistic, meaning they won't work together, they are working against each other. Clear, students? Any doubts up until now? No doubts? Sure? Okay, very good. Now see, students, this was the part of the endocrine function of the pancreas. Now talking about the exocrine functions, we know that the pancreatic juice or the pancreatic enzymes are secreted, and that goes to the alimentary canal more like particularly for digestion, and it secretes the enzymes that are important or that are extremely necessary for breakdown of the proteins, breakdown of the lipids, and also the carbohydrates. So the pancreas, when it works like an exocrine gland, it secretes the enzymes that are responsible for digestion. Clear, students? Any doubts up until now? Sure? Okay. Now moving forward, we know again we are going to discuss whenever we talk about any kind of hormone, we are going to discuss its under secretion or what possible diseases are associated with it. So the under secretion or the insufficient amount of insulin from the pancreas, it leads to the disease that is known as diabetes. And you can specify it also that it is known as diabetes mellitus. Meaning in this, insulin is not synthesized properly. And if in our body insulin is not present, then what happens? The sugar level in our blood, it increases a lot. Okay. And one more thing, students, have you had anyone in your family that has had diabetes? Does anyone have that person in the family? No for Aisha. What about others? Yes, Maha, you have? Who has it?
Father.
Your father does. Okay. So, is he taking insulin shots after his meals and stuff? Like he takes
No.
insulin injections? No.
No.
Okay. See, many a times what happens for those people that have insufficient insulin in their body. So, what happens is that after they have a meal, see, sugar and the blood sugar does not only means the table sugar that we have. Sugar component comes in many like food stuff that we have. It's not just direct sugar. Sugar or starch or glucose or any form. It is present in rice. It is present in potatoes. So those people that have diabetes, they're advised to not eat them. Especially mangoes. They're like advised not to eat any these type of starchy or very sugary fruits that have a high carbohydrate compounds. Everyone knows what carbohydrates are, right? When you will go into class 11th, you'll study more about carbohydrates and you will understand that carbohydrates are sugars only. Okay, their composition is sugar, right? So that is why the people that have diabetes mellitus, meaning they do not have sufficient insulin in their body, so they are advised to not eat those stuff that would spike their sugar level, right? So pancreas is clear to everyone, students? Does anyone have any doubts? All right. Okay. Now moving on to the adrenal gland. Now, if you people might have noticed the diagram of human organs and stuff, you might have noticed that whenever kidneys are drawn, so the kidneys, they are drawn with, like, it looks sort of like the kidneys are wearing a crown. Have you people noticed that in your diagrams? The yellowish portion, they make it like a crown. This is the adrenal gland. Okay, it is situated above each kidney, on both our kidneys. So now, okay, tell me one thing. Pancreas is a paired gland or it is a single gland? Is pancreas paired or single? Tell me, students.
Single.
Single, right? It is single gland, right? It is one leaf shaped structure. Okay, what about pituitary? Pituitary is a single gland or a paired gland? Hmm?
Single.
Single, yes, again single. Okay, what about thyroid?
Single.
Thyroid is single?
No, it's in pairs.
Yes, it's in pairs. Now, same goes for adrenal glands. Now, adrenal glands, they occur in pairs and they are present above each kidney, meaning two adrenal glands are there in our body. Now, remember that these adrenal glands, they decrease in size as the human progresses in age. So, when a person ages, the size of the adrenal gland decreases. Now, adrenal glands, they are responsible for secretion of the hormone that is known as adrenaline. Now, this hormone is the hormone because of which, have you people ever had like this feeling while you're walking on the road and you feel like, mostly for girls, like you feel like someone is following you? Does this happen to you? Like, even if no one is following you, you still sometimes feel that paranoia that, okay, someone is right behind me. I feel that. So that is why, like, is it with you all also? Right, for all the girls? Yes, I know it is there because it's for me too. So in that position, or whenever you're in that situation, even if no one is following you, you get that rush in your body, right? You get that high blood flow and you start walking so fast, much more than you can normally walk, isn't it? So there is a reason for this happening. And even for, just in case, if this is like, I gave a very gender specific example, but if we talk normally also, for example, if you feel like a very dangerous or poisonous animal is around, right? Or for any of you who are scared of dogs, right? So what is our first instinct when we see that? We try to run, isn't it? The first instinct. We never stay still. We never stay calm. The first thing that comes to our mind, okay, let's run. So why does this come to our mind? Because of this hormone. It's not our fault. It's the hormone's fault. Adrenaline hormone that is secreted in our body during the stressful condition. And these adrenaline hormone, it is most importantly known as the flight and fight response. It is responsible for our reaction in those kind of situations. Okay. And what happens? Apart from giving us this, the adrenaline acts on the heart and increases the heartbeat. So whenever you're scared, your heartbeat increases, isn't it? Happens to all of us. Why? Because the adrenaline, it is acting on our heart and it is increasing the heartbeat. Now, what is the reason for the increase in heartbeat? If the heartbeat increases, meaning the heart will pump more and more blood, isn't it? And if our heart is pumping more and more blood, so the blood that the heart pumps, it supplies oxygen to all our body, right? Everywhere. So with that, meaning if the heartbeat increases, then the pumping of the heart also increases. And if the pumping of the heart increases, then much more amount of oxygen is supplied to us. Much more. And now, why do we need oxygen? You might have felt that whenever you run out of breath, isn't it? You start like breathing very fast whenever we run, whenever we do any kind of exercise. So why does that happen? It's because whenever we are running, it like a sort of, you can say, oxygen deficient surrounding is created around us. Oxygen becomes less in our body. So that is why our heart works double or twice, so that more and more oxygen can be supplied to the muscles. So now when the muscles have been supplied with more and more oxygen, you can run faster without getting out of breath. Clear, students? That is why for people that they go to the gym, or they are very, you can say, active in terms of exercise and everything, so they have, like, they can run longer and faster as compared to the people that do not exercise that much, because their bodies are not used to it. The heart is not used to that increased rush of blood and stuff. So now this adrenal gland, it secretes the hormone that is known as adrenaline. And this adrenaline hormone, it is for our fight and flight response. Okay, so whenever, okay, yeah, whenever, like, whenever you are in a heated argument with someone, or like, for example, you got in a very bad argument, now things have escalated from the verbal, and now you're coming on to fight. So why are you coming on to fight again? Because of this hormone. Don't think it's your fault, it's your hormone. It's making you fight because of that. And like, you might have seen, if you have seen someone fighting with someone, you might have seen that after a while they go normal, they go very calm. After they're done throwing 2 or 3 punches, they're like very calm and serene. Why? Now the hormone has gone back to the normal level in their body. So the flight, that running extremely fast, and the fight response, to protect yourself, you fight, right? If someone is going to hit you, you're there, you're like, okay, come, I'll also give you 1 or 2, right? So that happens because of this hormone. Clear to you all? Adrenal gland is clear to you all? Does anyone have any
Ma'am,
doubt? Hmm? Yes,
what
Maha?
is it decreases with age?
Hmm?
Why does the size decreases with age?
See, because as you can say, as you start aging a lot, right, it's just what happens in the body. The size of this particular gland, it starts decreasing. Same is for another gland that is known as thymus, the immunity giving gland. So because with age, most of the body systems, they start to slowly slow down, and at the end shut down. So this is one of the things that happen with aging. Okay, and you might have seen, this is the reason why if you go and try to scare an old person, that person will not run, because that person has less adrenaline in the body, right? That person will never fight. Firstly, because he or she, the old person, does not have enough energy. And second, they don't have this hormone secreted in them. That is why old people are very calm. And younger people, mostly in your age group, and the ones that are in the puberty age group, they are like extremely, you can say, active and all because of this. Clear? Clear to you all? Any doubts? Okay, now moving on to gonads. Now see, gonads, what is the meaning of that? Gonads are those organs in our body that are responsible for production of gametes. What is the function of gametes, students? Can anyone tell me? What is the function of gametes? Hmm? No one knows. Do you people know about sexual reproduction? Right? See, the type of reproduction in which the male and the female gametes fuse in order to form a zygote, and then that zygote will develop into a new human being. So for reproduction process, the gametes are extremely important. The human that is male will uh, synthesize the male gamete, that is sperm, and the human that is female, she will synthesize the female gamete, that is ovum. So gonads, they are the gamete producing organs in the human's body. Testes is the gonad of males, and ovaries are the gonads of females. So in the male, the gamete is the sperm, and in the female, the gamete is the ovum. Ovum is the singular, ova is the plural. So here, the gametes are not important, the gonads are important. So see, the gonads, apart from synthesizing the gametes, they have another function, is that the male gonads, they secrete the male hormone. And the female gonads, they secrete the female hormones. So all of the feminine characteristics that are there in the female's body, it is because of these hormones only. And all the male characteristics that are there in the male's body, it is because of the male hormone. So the testes, which is one gonad, it is responsible for producing the male hormone called as the testosterone. And the ovaries, they produce the female hormones called as the estrogen and progesterone. And remember, students, that both of these gonads, testes and ovaries, they are paired structures, meaning two of them are present. One pair of testes is there and one pair of ovaries is there. And when I say one pair, that means how many of them are present?
2.
Two. Now see, let us see what are the functions. So, the functions of the testosterone. Now, testosterone and estrogen, they help in producing the gametes, and they are also responsible for sexual characteristics of male and females. Now, the reason why the males have beard, the males have a taller height, and they have a broader shoulder is because of the hormone that is testosterone. And the reason why the females have a very thin voice, mostly a very feminine voice, they have broader, you can say, waist because of estrogen hormone. Now, you might have seen there are some females that have male like voice, or they even have a lot of facial hair, like they have beard, they have mustache. Have you seen those people? They're like, yeah, one of, you can say, you can find them on the internet also. And why they are like that? It's not because they are males, they are females only, but it's just that due to some error, their bodies are secreting more male hormone. That is why they have some male characteristics in them. Okay, so the testosterone and estrogen, they are responsible for that. Any doubts up until now, students? Now talking about the progesterone. So this is the pregnancy hormone. This is the hormone that is very important for the pregnancy of the female. Clear? Any doubts? Okay, now you people can note down, then we'll move forward. You can switch off your videos and write down comfortably.
Done, ma'am.
Done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students? Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, students, let's just keep it till here only for today's class. And in the next class, I'll give